Doing thoracic paravertebral blocks here. As you can see, we've marked off C7 through T4, and we're going to go with the T3-4 level to do this first paravertebral block. We're getting our image where we can see it best, lining up our probe just lateral to the midline. And here's our image on ultrasound. You can see the T3 process, the T4 transverse process, the pleura, the shiny pleura you can see very easily, and then the costal transverse ligament just above the pleura. And we have to get the tip of our needle in between the costal transverse ligament and the pleura to deposit our local anesthetic to make this a successful block. Now, one of the keys is, one of the important factors is the injection port. Where you start your injection has to be very close to the probe to be able to get the tip of the needle between the two transverse processes. So with this very steep angle, it's very difficult to see your needle. So echogenic properties are very important in your needle to be able to see it as it approaches the transverse processes and the pleura. So with this Sono Tuohy needle, it's has the echogenic markings on the last 2 centimeters of the needle, so it makes it very easy to see as you see it approaching here, going right over the transverse process of T4. Very, very critical in this block that you know where the tip of that needle is and you don't puncture the pleura and get into the lung. You can see our Sono Tuohy advancing between the vertebrae, and you can see the last 2 centimeters. The echogenicity of this needle is just really shines up well, and it's extremely helpful when you're using this steep angle here to be able to see it as you're approaching the pleura. Obviously, we got to be careful, and you want to know where the pleura is and the tip of your needle at all times so that you don't advance the needle through the pleura into the lungs. You see the needle in this view very well. Now we bring our pleura back into view so we can see again the tip of our needle right here above the pleura but below the costal transverse ligament, so we can deposit our local anesthetic in the space that we want it to be in. As you can see, it's very gentle, very slow movements of the needle. You take your time, you try to advance. As you see the injection there pushing the pleura down, but you take your time to get this needle exactly in the right place. It's a very delicate block, and you have to see exactly what you're doing to be able to make this successful without having the complications that can very easily occur.